It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
And welcome to the realm of geekdom. This is nerd breaking news. Today, we're going to talk about the upcoming trailer for Spider-Man Brand New Day that is expected to be released on March 18th with the movie release on July 31st. So it's just a few months away. But first, like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss any of our episodes. Let's jump right in. Professor, what do you think about this film? Because I know you have something to say about it.
Yeah, I think that what a lot of folks have kind of forgotten about is that this is a sequel to the last Spider-Man movie. And one big question is, okay, how do you do a sequel to a multiverse movie and scale it down? Well, I think the answer is you have to create some kind of consequences from the last movie. And obviously one consequence is folks not remembering who he is. But one other consequence that's rumored and probably actually true is that now all of a sudden he'll have organic webbing. And when you start to kind of go back and think it through, I think it's more likely than not that the direction they're looking to take the character in is that because of his interaction with the other ones, now his life is operating parallel to some of the Spider-Man stories that we've seen previously, versus from some from the animated series, some from that first Tobey Maguire movie, some from that Tom Holland from the who's the other guy? I forgot his name already.
Garfield.
Some from the Andrew Garfield movie. And I think his stories are now going to be almost like amalgamations of all the other ones that we've seen before. And when you look at that strategically, where that gets you is a storyline that if you connect all the different pieces to it, you can end up after the next three movies seeing Tom Holland as the greatest Spider-Man of all time. Regardless of how we all might feel about it, the reality of it is that our children are going to look at it that way, because he would have had the role for like 10 plus years, like he is the guy. And I think that this movie is the first step to making him the guy. And the other rumor is that at a certain point he'll be Man Spider. And when you sit down and you ask yourself, okay, of all the Spider-Man content we've seen in our entire lives, which one did Man Spider correctly? The answer is the cartoon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't think that's a coincidence either. And I think ultimately what they're trying to do, they're trying to tie all this stuff together. When has Spider-Man been best friends with the redhead? Oh, that's right, the 70s cartoon. They're grabbing little pieces of everything and they're building a storyline from it. And I think that what we're going to get is the first piece of that storyline that will probably eventually end in his death.
Oh,
that's my 10 cents.
Interesting take. Kid, what do you have to say?
I think unlike the other video we did as it pertains to the DCU and Gunn, and we said that the ensemble element was or could be overwhelming, which is right on schedule with James Gunn. I feel like this one's a little bit more different, right? It has the Punisher. It has rumored Jean Grey or confirmed Jean Grey. It has Ned and Zendaya coming back as their respective characters. It has supposedly Scorpion. It has supposedly Kingpin. It has Bruce Banner's confirmed, which is Mark Ruffalo. It has all these characters, and yet obviously they got Scorpion, and they're going to get all these new people, these local, because there's going to be a specifically how it's tailored narratively wise. It's going to be a street level threat world that we're finally going to go. Because remember, when Homecoming came out, my biggest thing, and I liked Homecoming, it was a cool film. My biggest thing was it was the connection to Tony Stark and how it wasn't really his suit. And I was like, oh, this is annoying. And then in the second one, he goes to Europe. He wears the black suit. And then the third one, yeah, he has all three of them. That was more of a fan service film than anything because the story wasn't really that good. This might be, to piggyback to the professor's argument, this might be Tom Holland's best chance to solidify himself. Because right now he's not the GOAT for me, but I'm assuming there's a generation that thinks he is. That's how every generation works. For me, he's not, but doesn't mean that he can ever not be, right? Maybe this is the film that says, all right, you guys want it, because the last 5 minutes of the last one, where he's outside in the snow and he created his own suit, he has the police scanner, and it felt, okay, we're finally getting college level, old school Spidey, that he does everything himself. He had his own apartment, he grew the hell up. That was my biggest thing about Tom Holland, and I'm not necessarily blaming him, but I'm blaming the MCU a little bit. Grow the hell up. You can't be 17 forever. My biggest thing is that that's annoying already. Like, so with the third one, you can't be in high school. You look like you're 40. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And I've been saying this for 10 years. To Professor's credit, he had the chance because of his resume, the years he's been putting on Spidey. Not only 3 films, but we've seen Spidey in adventure films now. We've seen Spidey in all these things that he's able to do in his resume, the Holland's version, that he needs a Spider-Man. He's in New York, street level, rough and tough, gritty, and then that might be able to change a lot of perspective of what people think of the GOAT Spider-Man is, because it could be the original, it could be Maguire. I think Garfield is the best Spider-Man, but not the best Peter Parker. That's I think that Spider-Man is the character. Garfield is my favorite. But again, what's the story, right? You have Jean Grey in this. How is Ned and MJ gonna feel it because he lost supposedly the memory? Like this is when the trailer comes out this week. It's not only gonna blow up. It's just that we're gonna be able to see more. We're gonna confirm who probably the antagonist is and all that stuff. But I think this is a great opportunity, and no pun intended. Great responsibility, great opportunity to become that. But yeah, this is his chance.
Mm-hmm. Ego.
Yeah. I think I agree with you guys. There's a little bit of preoccupation about what his role will be. I think that they abused the whole thing of like, oh, he's just a kid. And, every now and then he would show up and he is really strong and then he'll get us out of trouble. Like not only on Spider-Man movies alone, but also in the Avenger versions that he would show up. It would always be like, oh, he's just a kid. He doesn't really do anything. And then obviously being who he is, the Spider-Man, the character, he would show up and he will help the Avengers or whatever. But in general, I think it's time to move on and basically make him, get your own story. Forget about the Avengers for a second. Forget about Tony Stark for a second. You're not dependent on him. It feels like because, Iron Man and Robert Downey Jr. has been like, the golden egg for so many years for any movie that Marvel, throws to you, that they just basically hurt the character of Spider-Man. And I think there's so much more to this one specifically. The other thing to your point, Kid, I also read somewhere that Venom might show up in the movie. They hinted, Sony hinted it, supposedly. So going into that, like it feels like this is just a setup movie to Avengers Doomsday. And it's just, I'm worried again because it's the whole point of like, when are we going to give this guy the opportunity to have his own Spider-Man, version? Like all the other ones did, okay? You talk about Tobey Maguire. Tobey Maguire had at least 3 movies, right?
He did. Yeah.
And there was an arc of the developing of the character, right? And I thought that they were going to do this with this guy here, and it just hasn't been. Like I think the criticism is granted is fair, and I'm worried that we're not going to get it. Like every movie that they're gonna release right now is going to be setting it up for again Robert Downey Jr. coming back and saving Marvel again. What about Spidey?
That's fair.
Fourth iteration of Spider-Man with Tom Holland, right? Am I right? Fourth?
Yeah.
And
yes.
And we only got the first one, and we never grew up because, again, every single person was, tagging him as, hey, who's that guy? Oh, he's just a kid. Oh, what does he do? I don't know. We're no word about him. He's on our team, but that's it. You get tired of it. So, yeah.
Well, 2 things. So I see both sides, and I think both of them can be true. I do believe that this Spider-Man film is a filler movie. Right? I think this is to set up Doomsday. I think what they're planning to do is to recreate kind of like a miniature version of what Doomsday would eventually be, right? Instead of having it being on a cosmic level, be on a street level of Spider-Man kind of just figuring things out, trying to put himself in. Again, this film will be the one that will set up Spider-Man as the Spider-Man that we know. and it's going to be very important to have a great villain to go ahead and be an antagonist to the Spider-Man in order for him to kind of come out of his shell. Because just like the Eagle was saying, it's been Robert Downey Jr.'s show for all of this. Iron Man's always been his support, all his tech stuff. The kid said it, like, he's everywhere, right? Even the villains, and we're talking about the second film, Mysterio has ties to Iron Man. Like, get him away. Make him up himself. No one knows who he is. This is the film that's going to go ahead and finally give him his opportunity to be able to say, hey, let me show you what Spider-Man really is. And the fact that he's no longer in high school, we're finally interesting villains that we've seen, like Madam Web and Mr. Negative, which I believe might be in my take. Anybody else has anything else to say about the potential trailer about the film?
Here's the thing. There's a lot of rumors with this
I
film.
think so. I guess we're all kind of
there's
like in the same consensus. Like,
there's a lot of rumors in this film.
go
Like,
ahead,
for example, Hulk is rumored to die in this film, right? Mark Ruffalo, because the presumption was that he wasn't named as a cast for Doomsday, so he's supposedly rumored to die. 2, again, my biggest thing against Tom Holland is he needs to grow the hell up and be a man already. That's a little annoying already, a little kid thing. 3, Ned better not be the Hobgoblin. He better not, because in the comics he is. In the comics he becomes the Hobgoblin. The problem is that
yes,
he can't become the Hobgoblin. Like, there's no way this dude is flying through New York with that glider, throwing stuff, making left turns, and we're like, oh, that's not Ned. Come on, who else is the guy in the chair? Who else is? Come on, that's. I hope they don't go that route. The Zendaya storyline that needs to end. Could we get Mary Jane? Could we move on? Could we?
She is Mary Jane.
No, they try to be slick. The MCU try to be slick on you. Oh, we call her MJ. Come on, man. Let's stop.
No, in the last they confirmed her name.
Which was? It was Mary Jane Parker.
It's
Was it Mary Jane Parker?
No, wait. Oh, no, it's Michelle. My bad. No, carry on. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Could Tom Holland grow? Could obviously not the actor, how he's portrayed, his version. Could his ball drop, bro? Could he be 18 years old already? Could he be old? Could he be 20 something years old already? Could he actually do something, be an adult? Same thing with MJ and Ned. MJ and Ned better be a cameo. You better be there for 5 minutes in this movie. Because if you have those people that have a prevalent role, then we're going backwards as a film. We're not moving forward narratively wise. We're going to go back to, because you know what happens if we have these two in the movie? You know what people are going to think? Oh, that's little kid Spider-Man. That's 17, 16-year-old Tom Holland. We're never going to move on. And we just need to, move on.
Okay. Let's drop something in here. So in the comic books, does Mary Jane being with Peter Parker make sense?
Mary Jane what?
So Mary Jane and Peter Parker,
does
them being together actually make sense in the comic books?
Well,
it's okay to say no.
They have a complex relationship in the comic books.
Yeah, the answer is no. It doesn't work. That's why they continuously undo it. Now, what if you had this original 3 set of stories that show you a Mary Jane Parker, a Mary Jane that has a lot in common with Peter Parker. Something ends up happening. She doesn't even remember it. He meets her again, and now she's a model. So now she's actually acting like the Mary Jane character. Because you have that background of them originally being together a certain kind of way, if you tell that story now with the exact same actress, it makes more sense. That's one piece. The other piece is they already gave Ned magic powers. You might as well use them. How twisted would it be?
That is true.
If Ned all of a sudden is a villain simply because he doesn't remember Peter Parker? Dang. And guess what? That fits the actual theme of Peter Parker's villains. All of his villains are supposed to be his fault. That would be the darkest, sickest twist. Wow, if I was in your life, you'd be a good person. But because I wiped your mind, now you're a homicidal maniac. And it literally is all my fault.
you're saying you're writing a beautiful narrative. The problem is when we see Ned, we can't take him serious. We see the actor plays Ned. He looks like an M&M. We can't take him serious. We can't take that serious.
Well,
so
here's what we can do.
So you're telling me that Venom might be rumored, and Venom should be able to destroy Tom Holland. You're telling me that Mysterio had a good lick, and this guy he almost beat him.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about the Green Goblin, all these idiots that came back in the last one who had a chance to beat him, but Ned's gonna do it. But Ned's gonna be the one to do it
because he's got the Doctor Strange. He just gotta do this, and Peter Parker goes flying away.
He doesn't remember that. Hold on, he doesn't remember that. He doesn't remember that. He has no recollection of that happening.
He has no recollection of him. But then at the same time, what if you got Dr. Doom pulling up people to TK's point? What if Dr. Doom got a little magic school? What if Dr. Doom gets Ned and he makes him do Ned? There's so much you can do.
No, the thing
and Ned even said it that it was part of his family that they had this magical thing. They had that already. So you're already talking about like he's already attached to magic. He's super smart. No Peter Parker to kind of like be there for him. I could actually see the Hobgoblin.
That would be jumping the shark if this man becomes Hobgoblin.
But it's not jumping the shark because you got 3 movies to do it.
It'll be I'm talking about in this one. Oh, it's
I'm not talking about this one.
That's all I'm about to say. Yeah. No, you gotta get Ned out of there. Ned out of there.
Bring on the Ned. We like Ned. This is a Ned-friendly house right here.
And then it's gonna be a family-friendly Spider-Man. It's gonna be a jokey Spider-Man. So here comes the Punisher being a clown because he can't be serious because the MCU. And then again, the big rumor is that Mark Ruffalo's Hulk is gonna die in this film. The problem is he died, to be honest, in Infinity War. All the fans know it. Everybody knows that they butchered Hulk. Every MCU fan, they butchered Hulk. When that man was in the Hulk poster and he didn't come out as Hulk, every Hulk fan was like, "Oh, get out of here with that." You can defend that.
Hulk died the moment he got KO'd by Thanos. That was it. That was it. We saw the end of the Hulk there. I'm sorry. Like I was one of those people that said, "No, let's give it a chance. I want to see the smart Hulk here," but they didn't do anything with it, and they didn't do anything right with him, and they just ruined his character. And I think like this film will be something where Jean Grey is rumored. Jean Grey is going to be one of those people that might not be able to control her powers and somehow messes her up, and we might be able to get Savage Hulk back.
All right,
and if we could get that, that'd be pretty cool.
So in the comic books, who gets rid of Smart Hulk?
Ooh.
Jean Grey does.
Ooh.
That's how it works. What ends up happening in the comic books, in order to defeat Onslaught, the heroes are getting waxed. The professor goes to Jean Grey. Professor Hulk goes to Jean Grey, says, "I need a favor. Turn this off." But she ends up doing too good of a job, and she turns everything off. And he literally turns into a wild animal who can't even talk. And that's the trade-off. All he can do is grunt and smash things.
Give me that Hulk.
Savage Hulk.
Give me that Hulk.
Yeah. But what ends up happening is this version is even worse than the original. Some would say villainous and murderous. There you go.
I'd rather that than his goofy Hulk.
There you go. And then what ends up happening is that the heroes, I think Onslaught explodes, removes Bruce Banner from his body completely, and then you have a whole other problem. Yeah. But
we'll see.
Yeah, again, there's just so many things going around, so many characters out here with potential storylines. Honestly, we just gotta have to wait to see what the trailer brings, so we have a better idea what we're expecting for this film. And the fact that this film is just around the corner, they're releasing this late. Hopefully, this trailer is good, because if there's questions there, like what are you gonna do to fix it in just a few months? Any final comments about the potential of this upcoming trailer?
Well, let's wait next week.
All right, perfect. We will go ahead and do a video when that trailer comes out. Come back and check us out. See if any of our theories out here actually ended up coming true or not. And go ahead and let us know as well. What do you think is going to be the potential storyline? Jump in there, throw the comments, come back on the 18th to see if your theory came true. And we'll get some of the comments and we'll talk about it if you do. So thank you for tuning in. Whether you think this film is going to be great or not, let us know. But keep your fandom alive and your warp drive engaged. Until next time, fellow nerds, this is Nerd Breaking